Welcome in. Happy Preakness Day, the 149th Preakness Stakes, not too far away. Meghan, Payton, Dubs, Anderson. We've got Curtis coming on. We've got Kyle Levy joining the show. We're going to do a little social thing here where we just kind of prep for the race, talk through different favorites, maybe build a little exacta, trifecta. But ultimately, this is a social show. We're going to have fun and, of course, find some ways to wager.
Get involved. Get us a rinsing. It's the second jewel of the Triple Crown, one of the biggest weekends in sports and sports wagering. We're going to do our best to get you up to speed, hopefully make a couple of bucks along the way. And of course, it's not just going to be us two. We've got a couple of people getting in the mix here. Let's start with Curtis. Magic, get into the mix. Woo! My guy, great to have you as a part of the FanDuel TV team. Great to have you on board here this afternoon. Mate, this is as big as it gets for any sports fan, but in particular in the sport of horse racing. How you doing?
I'm great, thanks. I'm honored to be here with you on Preakness Saturday. I didn't really have anything else going on, so when they asked me to come on and be the horse analysis today, I said, I could probably do that. I could make room in my schedule. So super excited to be talking to you. It's very warm and sunny here in Southern California where I'm based. What's the weather like there?
We've got a little bit of a heating issue going on right now. I don't know if we're if you can see, this isn't oil. We're fully sweating. This is a bad day to wear the
sweating.
The blazer's coming off.
I sent an email to HR. I'm like, I can't work under these conditions. Can I please remove the jacket? There's nothing serious about this blazer. So it's very warm down here in LA. It looks like they've had a bit of weather rolling through out there at Pimlico. So we have to factor that in to a handicap. And that's what we're going to be doing over the next hour or so, jumping through a couple of the big races here for the Saturday afternoon. We'll get some racing from Churchill beneath the Twin Spires and hopefully find a couple of big prizes. This is what I want to see, Curtis, the very best in the sport, squaring off for some of the biggest prize purses that we'll see all year long. And now you throw this element of the weather into the mix, pace scenario, that just goes out the window.
Yeah, it's been interesting how everything's gone so far today with the pace. When it comes to the dirt, which we'll talk about a lot more when after this race is over, it seems pretty fair. If you had horses that were given easy leads early, they did what decent horses that are given early leads do. They just go off and win. But we also saw a couple races, including another route race today on the dirt, where you could have a less than ideal trip and be wide and be in the back, and Corporate Power still got the win. Talking about the turf, there has been a very consistent theme with the four races that we've run on this turf course so far today, guys. Speed isn't holding up, but because that inside, like those inside two lanes in the stretch are horrible, no horse is able to actually get over that ground at all. And so I think you can tell it very clearly just when you're watching what's happening on the screen. So the horses that are coming from off the pace and are able to get out wide and get clean trips, that's how horses are winning on the turf. So it's definitely soft. They've definitely had some issues, some of the horses that want that fast ground, guys.
Okay, so the course is listed as soft. You can list me as soft as well. The jacket's coming off.
Is it coming off?
It's far too hot.
Guess what? We do pizza, though.
We got 2 minutes to post time. Get the cows in. Get those tickets in. If you're looking to jump in and play along, you can do so at the FanDuel Racing app. We're less than 2 minutes out from the dinner party stakes here. We'll be race number 12 over there at Pimlico. Grade 3 going the distance of 1.1 miles on the turf course. You highlighted some of the bias that we've seen earlier today going through the card here on the Saturday, Curtis. Where have you landed? How are you playing it?
Well, I was going pretty deep in this. My pick 5 is still alive. I've got 3 horses to try and get through with here. My top pick was going to be Emmanuel. And so with that, the speed kind of cuts back and there's not nearly as much of it up there. I'm hoping that that Running Bee with Tyler Gaffalione aboard, that this horse does like to be more forwardly placed, but doesn't need the lead type. If he can get this horse to sit off a little bit and keep him out wide in the 2-path, the 3-path, get it exploding into the stretch there. He is a 2-1 favorite here in the way that the turf course has been playing. You could make a case for a couple of horses coming off, like the 3 Balnikov. We know him well from out here in California, racing on the turf. And he was second off the layoff in this spot. It looked like in the San Francisco Stakes last time out that he was a little bit rusty. So he gets the rust knocked off, comes here. He's going to be flying late. And with Frankie Dettori aboard, you guys know this horse has got as good a chance as anybody.
It's officially post time for race number 12. This is the dinner party stakes. And the good thing about the wagering menu, too, is one of the best ways that we can get a little bit of value is doing the multi racing. So you can jump in with the daily double here if you haven't already. So that'll be this race, and it'll also be the Preakness. But there's the 50-cent pick 3 also available. So hopefully these prize pools start to grow even more. But Dubs, give us your top endorsement as we get set for post time.
And you may just see my facial reaction. I just saw someone get tackled by a Portalo in the infield out there at Pimlico. So it is all happening on a Saturday afternoon at Old Hilltop. But look, we're getting set for a start time. Running B, the 5 sits as your favorite at 2-1. Beatbox, the 9 sitting at 5-2. Atone now sits at 5-1. I've landed on the inside runner here. Highland Chief, the 1, now sits at 6-1. Was 12-1 on the morning line. Certainly looks to be in the midst of trying to turn things around. Second off the layoff here. So I think we've got that fitness, gets the inside draw. We're just going to have to work out a good trip here as we move in for this one. But at that price, going for a bit of an upset.
I mean, is it too early for us to already build an exacta for
Hey,
this one? I mean,
why not?
What about a little exacta? So, Curtis, what do we think? Should we go straight up ice cold little Dave Weaver, or are we needing to box some stuff together?
Well, it depends on who we're using. If you want to use the 5 and the 9, I think we should do straight cold. But if you're looking to use, you liked the 1, I think we can box up the 1, the 3. Do you like to box 3 horses or try to keep it at 2?
I was thinking 2 for this with that scratch of the 12 there. So if we can keep it at 2, I'll throw in the inside runner there at 6-1, Highland Chief.
All right. So then there we go. We'll throw it in. What's that going to pay us? I feel like we can get this. You can do this right now on the FanDuel Racing app, and we'll get the actual prices for you here. But looking at the 5-horse running B, comes in with the 4 wins, 9 lifetime starts, winner last out, runner up the time prior. It definitely makes sense with Tyler Gaffleone aboard to have this horse absolutely in the exacta.
So, yeah, I'm going to use the 5, and then we'll do, so a 1-5 exacta on the FanDuel Racing app, it's $30. A 5-1 exacta is $25. So it's 25-1, 30-1 are what we get in with 2 horses we both like in this spot.
And for anyone that's got like the sports people coming over saying, hey, what exactly is an exacta? Some of these terms can be a little bit overwhelming. It's essentially just who's going to finish first, who's going to finish second. But the difference with racing that we talk and highlight about all the time is the ability to add in that extra insurance, add in a couple extra horses. So you can kind of think of it as a parlay if you want, but at the end of the day, you get to add in a couple others.
Yeah, essentially like a same game parlay, just with 2 legs. We're trying to come up with who's going to win the race and who's going to come in second. So multiple outcomes within one given race. It sounds simple enough, right? But it's also a great way to jump in and play a race where maybe you think there is a short price favorite and you want to throw a bit more value behind the chalk there and look towards maybe a more erratic run styles. I mean, my runner here, the 1 Highland Chief, still being disrespected, now sitting there at 7-1 plus 700 as they head up toward the starting gate. The turf course looks fantastic. Obviously, it's had to cop some pretty tough weather earlier today and over there last night. But as you highlighted there, Curtis, the bias looks to be towards that closing kick and who's going to have that stamina and that conditioning. Who are we sleeping on? Who have we not highlighted going into the gate here as a bit of a threat?
Well, there are 2 Grand Motion horses. You used 1 Highland Chief. I think the other one, the 2 English B, is another one to look out for. He's run 1 at Pimlico before. He's coming off a good second, going a mile last out, and he's a horse that likes to run a little longer. So that's who I'd go with. By the way, they did break for me. I don't know with your feet if they've broken yet. I don't want to
We're a little delayed.
Hey,
we're a little delayed.
They're racing. All right, let's go. Let's see how it plays out. Curtis, you're going to have to give us the play-by-play. Give us a little live update here. I'm seeing that they're just going up the start here, across in front of the finish line for the first time. So it looks to be the 9 Helms, Helms Deep out in front at a monster price, setting the tone.
Yeah, he's going very slow, but it really hasn't mattered because if you've been on the inside of the turf course, and I just lost my feet. If you've been on the inside of the turf course, then it's something that it doesn't help you no matter what's happening. So let me see if I get my feedback. There we go. Now I'm riding out. Who's the jockey cam we've got here?
Let's go. Curtis, have you been out here before? Old Hilltop to Pimlico Racecourse?
I have not, no. The farthest east I've ever been was Louisville for the Kentucky Derby one year, but someday I'd love to get out there.
It looks nice out there. And I mean, our team live on site, they've got a great setup. It feels like they're literally behind the scenes. I mean, we were on this show yesterday and we saw Mystic Dan just like walk right by. Like they've got an
Fantastic.
awesome setup. And of course, everyone out there on site is going to be doing tons of coverage, and we'll be your little second feed to help with the social side of things. But give us live updates. Where are we at?
It looks like
it's Curtis versus Dubs right now. 1 and 5 are
the 5 is squaring off as they turn for home. Here comes the 3 in the
they're
mix.
on the inside.
How are we doing, Curtis? Who's going to get it? I'm on the inside.
It's the other horse I mentioned that I almost said instead of the 1. Balnikov's got the lead. The 6 is making a big run for second, but it looks like it'll be 3-6-5-1 order of finish.
Wow.
Balnikov gets it done. Frankie Dettori could be getting set for a monster weekend there. You're trying to fill Diamato. Really didn't have a lot of great form coming into this one, Curtis. I mean, the 6 wins from the 25, so often well placed. Fired second off the spell, and one of the West Coast Warriors getting the score.
Well, and it plays to, it's not a horse that I had a huge amount of faith in. I thought he would run better than his last few races have looked on the page. But what really ran in his favor is watching how the other 4 turf races today went. The 2 horses that took the lead off the stretch stayed on the inside. And what happened? They got passed by closers who were coming out wide. So it played right up into his strengths there. The 1, I think, might have had a stronger chance if he wasn't so close early. It looked like for a second you had a winner there, Dubs.
Hey, close calls. That's my MO. But well done to Frankie Dettori. Balnikov, the 3, gets it done in race number 12, the Dinner Party Stakes from Pimlico. So we'll wait until those prices go official. And with that, we're going to have to pivot pretty quickly. We've got racing out there at Churchill Downs with the team live on site. So how do we jump in and play the opener?
Well, let's give you the conditions. It's 2 minutes to post time here. And that's the fun thing about Preakness Week, Preakness Day. It's not just about the one race. We've got plenty going on, not just at Pimlico, but as you mentioned, Churchill. So the opener from Churchill, a couple minutes away. They're going to be going the sprint. It's 4.5 furlongs. It's a maiden claiming event for the 2-year-olds. And looking right now, I mean, you're all about the 1, which is a first-time starter. That's Herb Elias comes in. I mean, you look at what the dam has done. 3 winners from 5 starters. I know the morning line was at 5-2. Are you still endorsing the 1?
Absolutely. Here I am back to playing chalk. It's Keithy Asmussen, Steve Asmussen riding for Dad there. And yeah, you highlighted the precocity expected from the dam side. First time starter. So let's go. Playing the chalk. I'm showing 0 minutes till start time here for race number 1 from Churchill Downs. Magic, where have you landed?
I like the 1. That was my second choice here, but I'm going with the 5, Baytown Butterfly right now. She is 4-1. It's a filly taking on the boys, and she has a bug jockey aboard, which means she's not it's a more inexperienced jockey, so then that means they are allowed to run for less weight. So that'll help her a little bit. But she's by Omaha Beach, and that horse is red hot with 2-year-olds and first-time starters. Wins at 25% with 2-year-old first-time starters. This horse has shown some good speed in her works. And again, I like that it's a filly taking on the boys when she doesn't have to.
For the maiden events, I feel like we go back and forth all the time. Curtis, are you the kind of guy that always likes to go with the first-time starters, or do you find that the experience can help?
It can help if there is a good reason, if it looked like a good race where they didn't win. But for me, a lot of times if a horse looks like, let's say it blew the break and came running late and passed a bunch of other horses, that horse is now going to be over bet in the next start. They'll be bet like they're even money 6-5, plus 120. So to me, there's no value there. So I look for a horse. If I'm looking for a first-time starter, I look at the sire stats, like I brought up with that, and then also the works. To me, those are the 2 important things, what you can see on the page.
Looks like they're getting ready for a start here. Race number 1 coming up from Churchill Downs. Punch those tickets in at the FanDuel Racing app, and they are off. So Magic is on the 5, Baytown Butterfly, a first-time starter for Paul McEntee and the team, and I'm on the inside runner, Herb Elias, the 1. Let's see if we can bring one home. We got to think up a little side wager.
I know, we got to get some
things
side
going.
wagers.
We didn't hit with the dinner party out there at Pimlico. Frankie Dettori did aboard the 3, but let's see if we can bring one home. This is a fast race. You're not going to have to stick around too long to find out who does get the score in this one. Curtis, how have we seen it? It looks to be, is that your runner up in front? Baytown Butterfly looking to take off?
Yeah, the 4 is very stubborn. The 4 is a second-time starter who didn't run a lick on debut, but I think the 5's going to hold. She's pulling away late there.
Let's go. Up the center of the course, charging towards the finish line. I tell you what,
easy winner.
That is a professional. Was that easy winner? Can we clip that? Did Magic just dish out an easy little dime?
At a big price, too.
5-1. Goes off at 5-1.
Curtis, let's go. We're going to be telling
It's
Curtis
all downhill from here, so I'm just going to retire. Thank you guys for having me on. And go get any- I'm just kidding.
Goodbye.
Here is done. Hey,
Just that simple, right?
things you love to see. It really is that simple. So what do we learn? Listen to Curtis.
Listen to
Moving
Curtis.
forward.
Go for the prices. Baytown Butterfly breaks the maiden in the first career start. The 2-year-old filly going off at 5-1. Obviously, we'll wait till those prices go official. But Curtis, you're seeing them right. So I'm definitely going to ride with your momentum as we approach Preakness.
That's a good sign because I back up my my opinions on big races. So what red picks I'll talk about, I'm actually making. So it'd be good to have some support with you on that.
It sounded like there was substantial investment there from Curtis.
Yeah.
I hope.
No, it's not.
We just had always, play responsibly. That's our motto here at FanDuel Racing. But dinner party stakes, it looks like there could be a dinner party coming for Curtis here this afternoon. I believe we're going to try and get Kyle somewhere into the mix, but I believe he's dealing with inclement weather on site there. But Curtis, before we get these payouts from the first couple of races we've jumped into, for the new sports bettors coming across, we all know about the Kentucky Derby. We know about the Triple Crown. It's the second jewel coming up here this afternoon. But what makes it so special as a fan of horse racing when you've got the Kentucky Derby champion in Mystic Dan running it back, looking for that second jewel?
I mean, I will say, as someone who works in like the industry, like having the Kentucky Derby winner go to the Preakness Stakes with a storyline and with a new horse, couple new horses here that we lost Moose, but we still have Tuscan Gold and Imagination. When you can have those fun storylines, people really care. But we found out in years past when the Kentucky Derby winner doesn't go to the Preakness, the interest dives down. So it's great to have, a lot of sports bettors. We're trying out horse racing for the first time at the Kentucky Derby, taking advantage of all the great promos that we have. So I'd love to have everybody over here for this race as well. Good to see what the betting options are. As far as the odds, we're going to probably see in a little bit once they are official. Are those the official ones going right now?
I believe they're the morning line numbers. Let me bring it up.
Still the adjusted morning lines.
What I'm saying at the FanDuel Racing app, Mystic Dan now sits at 3-1. Was 5-2 on the morning line. We've got Tuscan Gold and Imagination. That's the 8 and the 9, both sitting at 4-1. And then we got next up Catching Freedom. My top choice there, sitting at 7-2 plus 350 with Flavion Pratt aboard for Brad Cox. So this is a really competitive race, and all the buzz this week was coming in behind Muth there for Bob Baffert, who's had a lot of success in this race. He will still have one of the key threats, likely going to be the early speed in Imagination, but it really feels like it's a wide open race. Yes, the path gets a little easier for Mystic Dan in trying to pick up that second jewel, but I do believe, given the weather, Curtis, that we could be in line to see a long shot outrun those odds in a big way.
I'm banking on it. I'm banking on the number 2 Uncle Heavy outrunning those odds. This is a horse that I don't think has, if you want to play a long shot to win a little bit of money, this is where I would go. But I think he has a great chance to at least get second or third. He loves running a little bit of an off going. We saw that in the Grade 3 Withers Stakes. He was a Pennsylvania bred stakes winner before that in some rough conditions. He had a bad trip in the Wood Memorial. He was stuck out wide the entire time. There also was the instance of the horse that fell in the top of the stretch. That at that point, because Uncle Heavy was behind it when it happened, he just had stopped running. And so willing to forgive that one. We show up in the Preakness Stakes when this horse could go to theoretically an easier spot. And we get Irad Ortiz Jr. to ride. And to me, that is a huge angle, a huge sign of faith. Irad has actually never won the Preakness Stakes. It's funny to say that. This is like possibly the only Grade 1 race left in America that he hasn't won. So I love the aggression. I love that we're coming with Uncle Heavy. Here's the replay from the Withers Stakes. And you had a horse, number 4, El Grande O for Linda Rice, who was such a tough front runner. He really made horses have to work to come and get him. And you see the horse is still in third. He's still struggling. In this last little bit, finally kind of kicks into gear. It's almost like you see a light bulb go on. Goes, I'm supposed to go up here, catch this horse that I've never had to try and catch like this before, and is able to get the job done. So he likes to fight. You've got a jockey who loves horses that like to fight. You can see it when Irad rides. He loves to just be as aggressive as he can on them. So I think he's got a great shot to do that with Uncle Heavy, and I'm loving the odds I'm seeing.
Uncle Heavy, the 2, they're sitting at a big price. We do have prices across from race 12 there. Barnikoff, the 3 gets it done up on top, $12.80 winner. The 3 over the 6, over the 5, over the 1, $91 payout there for the dollar exacta. The 50-cent try bringing back $174. Now, MP, Have we got good news or have we got bad news on who's joining the party?
We've got great news. The weather won't stop our guy. Oh, wait, we jinxed it.
No.
We jinxed it. Hold your breath, because Kyle Levy will eventually be joining us to talk a little Preakness. He's out there live on site, and he's dealing with the weather. As much as we're complaining about the heat in the office, we know Kyle's dealing with the rain out in Baltimore.
Not good enough.
It's
not good enough, Kyle.
He'll
Like,
be there.
if you're watching along, mate, we don't care if it's raining. Like, you're in the infield. You should be jumping over the porta potties. You should be sliding in the mud. If you go home and that suit is usable for a second occasion, you've done it all wrong in my book.
Well, I have faith in Kyle that he's going to persevere. He's going to come in. But let's talk about this field. We've got 8 horses. They're going a mile and 3/16. It's the shortest of the Triple Crown. And I feel like sometimes the best approach with the 8-horse field is just let's knock a few off that we think maybe aren't contenders. Then we'll be left with a few. So Curtis, looking at this 8-horse field, can we eliminate a couple here?
As far as win candidates, absolutely. I don't want to be a negative Nancy, but you're going to make me do it. We'll start with the real horse.
Do it. Who are we hooking off the card?
Who's going away?
Number 1, Mugatu. I just don't see it with this horse. It took him 5 tries to break the maiden. And when he did so, it was on the synthetic track at Gulfstream Park. It was going 2 turns, but that was also before the championship meet started. All of the good horses for Florida and Gulfstream Park are there for the championship meet. Then they all get out of town. So you beat a bunch of horses that were okay. And then every race since then, you try and find a reason why he would do well here. He was poor in his last 4 starts. He backdoored his way into being eligible for the Kentucky Derby, but he still didn't draw into the race, which is probably a good thing. You take him out of here. I just don't see it for him. Now, all that said, if he wins, I'm sure it's going to be a heck of a good feel-good story, and I'm going to feel like a horrible person for just poo-pooing the horse.
One is gone. Who else are we eliminating?
I don't know. I honestly
Is this a bad approach?
I honestly think that every runner has a chance. Like Curtis made the point towards Uncle Heavy there too. I think that's the long shot play for me. I like the 3 Catching Freedom. Mystic Dan, Kentucky Derby winner, has a really good chance of running it back. You look at Seize the Grade, the 6, has had success on the off track. Just Still was at 15-1 in the morning line, 2 for 2 in the money under these kind of conditions. I like Tuscan Gold as well, and Imagination is certainly going to be the live play. I think with a smaller field with the 8 runners, we've tossed out Mugatu, great
Poor Mugatu.
great Zoolander character. You remember that skit? The files are in the computer, smashes the computer on the floor. So Mugatu could be a principal play there for a couple of bettors, but I really think it's going to be competitive. It's going to be tight. The Derby lived up to the billing.
Yeah.
And the second jewel, I think, has a really good chance of doing the same. Curtis, a lot of the buzz, and on the betting side of things, Mystic Dan is going to get played down because everyone remembers from 2 weeks ago, this is your Kentucky Derby champion. Should be the favorite. And the one about, speaking of favorites, here he is. And the suit is still looking like it's in good shape. Kyle, get us up to speed. What's going on?
Guys, it's been a struggle to try to get on this thing because it started raining right as soon as I got outside. And when rain gets on your phone, you have a couple drops and it's like you can't touch the screen or whatever. Yeah. So a lot going on. Preakness, it's a party. I knew that, but I don't know if you guys can hear the background music that's going on. This place is insane. And it's a complete slop fest. Look at the ground.
Kyle, we never doubted you though.
Look at this.
Actually, Dubs did.
Show us the shoes. What shoes are you
Oh,
wearing?
they're not looking great. Let's see.
Oh, they're still looking okay.
Yeah, they're looking nice.
It's okay.
Strategy going with.
I got some mud on me, but that's okay. How are you guys doing? Have you made any money today so far?
Curtis just brought one in, 5-1 shot.
Yeah, a 5-1 shot.
Wait, really?
Yes, with Churchill, race 1.
Oh, not bad, Curtis.
So he's seen him right. All right, Kyle, let us know. Obviously, the rain, Kyle's obvious. We can see it on screen. But what else? Tell us about the environment, the fans out there, Mystic Dan. What's the mode?
I found out that. Also, let me just ask: is the audio bad? Are you guys like?
No,
You sound good. You sound
okay,
great.
sweet. Because I was freaking out because I have this mic, but the mic wasn't working, and it's okay. All right, sounds good.
Better with a couple of bold predictions here, but what's been the standout?
Everyone's on Mystic Dan. As from what I've seen, when I'm going through the infield, everyone is rooting for the Triple Crown. We want to see it happen. But so I don't know if you guys talked about this, or I don't even know what the odds are because I'm not looking at the screen. Or Mystic Dan was 4th choice in the doubles for Black Eyed Susan into the Preakness. So Is he favored right now, or who is the favorite?
He's favored at 3-1.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Sits at 3-1, Catching Freedom, second choice at 7-2. Then we've got Tuscan Gold, the 8, and Imagination, the 9, both sitting at 4-1. Now, Kyle, I don't know how long we're going to have you on here.
Let's go.
Looks like he's set up and ready
Let's
to
go.
How's the kid looking so sharp right now?
The rain kind of subsided, so we're doing okay. Let's go. We're back. We're back.
All right, Kyle.
Okay.
What's been the biggest fashion faux pas? What's been the biggest mistake you've seen from the punters on track?
I love that you call them the punters.
Hey, you know how we do.
I know. I've been seeing a lot. I've seen a lot of people in Old Bay like shirts or like suits, like Old Bay, like the seasoning, because Baltimore. Yeah. Lot of inebriated people. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
It's great.
Curtis, how we doing?
Good to see you, Kyle.
Good to see you too.
I'm looking. You missed the sunshine yet?
I do. I mean, it hasn't been all that bad. I didn't think it was going to rain like after 11 o'clock, but it's just been a little bit of a drizzle. So it's like the ground totally sloppy, but the vibes are still high. People are still drinking. They're still partying. They're still betting. So it's a good day so far here.
I feel like sometimes that makes you drink more. You know what I mean? When the weather's
for
bad
sure.
and you're just wanting to put a couple down. Is it cold? Like what temperature
No,
wise are we doing?
It's perfect in a suit. It's like perfect suit weather. So if I wouldn't be able to wear like a short sleeve. It would be all right. Probably like 65. There was a awesome. This is why I love the Preakness, because I'm in the infield right now. I don't think 90% of the people in the infield know that there's like a race about to go off in a little bit. They're just absolutely partying. There was the flyover, and then after the national anthem, everyone just starts going USA. USA. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was awesome. So the fans and the environment, they don't let rain ruin their parade, especially here at the Preakness. Like years ago, I don't know if you know this, Meghan, they used to have a run for the porta potties. So they had the porta potties all lined up in the infield. People would get on top of them and run across them and just get pelted by beer cans. Not even kidding, because they used to let people bring in their own alcohol in the infield. So that stopped like, I don't know, probably 5 or 10 years ago. But yeah, it's been, they cleaned it up. Now they have tents over the porta potties, so you can't do that. But still a good environment.
Kyle, I know you're not the kind of guy that just goes with the favorite. I know that about you with the Kentucky Derby. You're looking at long shots here, so please tell me you're going to come with and give us a price.
You're not doing the chalk. No chalk in a Saturday. Come on, mate.
You had him so upset he took his badge off.
Yeah.
I know. The credential looks cool.
I had to take it off because I had to take it off. This isn't fair, because what even is the chalk? They're all like 3-1.
You're supposed to be the chalk guy. Now Kyle's the chalk.
I'm turning.
Curtis is the only one giving 5-1 plays.
I now pass the chalk reins to you, my guy.
Okay.
Congratulations.
What's Mystic Dan right now? Or not Mystic Dan, Uncle Heavy right now, the 2.
Uncle Heavy, that's what we're talking about, yeah.
7-1. Getting bet down.
See, that's not as... I liked him a lot at 20-1, but at 7-1, I don't necessarily. I think he's just getting bet down because of the conditions, which makes sense. But Mystic Dan had his best race under these conditions. Why is he not getting played more? I don't know. So it's kind of one of those sketchy situations where I don't necessarily love betting on a horse who's not taking money. But look at this. Is this it? Like,
this is the...
he pulls away and absolutely romps on this sloppy track. I guess it was listed as money that day. If he's able to recreate this or even improve, how is someone going to beat him? And he's just being disrespected from an odds perspective, in my opinion.
And Curtis,
so that's why... So my pick is Mystic Dan, and I know it's chalky, but is it really chalky right now? Because
mate, not when you get plus 300, 3-1 for.
That's what I'm saying.
Curtis,
listen,
what do you think? I mean, it makes sense to play the favorite, especially at that price.
Yeah, if he's going to be that price, we thought that 8-5 was a lot more likely. A question for you, Kyle, because you've been there at the track. I've just been watching from home. It seems to me like the dirt course has been fair if there's enough of a pace battle, but any horse that gets an early lead by itself is just dominating.
I think who
takes the lead, and do they get it? Is Imagination alone by himself? Does he get company from one of the Lucases?
I am on team Imagination gets the lead by himself. I don't necessarily know if it's true, because Just Steel is obviously going to be getting sent. I just don't know if anyone's fast enough to keep up with Imagination. And listen, this is just reminding me so much of last year's Preakness, when a Baffert horse wasn't taking a bunch of money. They let him get the lead. He set slow fraction and was able to wire the field. So I think Imagination could literally repeat that run that National Treasure had last year. So you're right. The dirt course has been playing pretty fair, but if you get that lead and you're not pressed too hard, it's going to be hard to pass.
Imagination sitting at 4-1 right now. That's going to be my top endorsement. Has the speed in a field that really doesn't have it now that Muth has been scratched. All right, you're on Catching Freedom, Kentucky Derby horse. I feel like a lot of people are jumping on that. Should be coming in, closing kick. What are you looking at with Catching Freedom that caught your eye?
I thought Catching Freedom was solid in the Derby without being fantastic. Pretty game, 4 of 20. I look back to the Louisiana Derby and I thought that was a devastating performance. If we see that same version of Catching Freedom with a nice little pace set up here, I'm seeing a lot of green lights amongst this field. I do think we can stick close enough to that early speed from Imagination. We can be right in the conversation. Was hoping for a bit of a better price there, but certainly will be the top endorsement. Catching Freedom, Flavien Prat, Brad Cox. You look at the form cycle. It's boom, bust, bit of a bounce, but I think we can get back to the winning ways today.
Curtis, Kyle, how do we feel? Curtis, we'll start with you. Catching Freedom, someone you'd be endorsing?
I've got him underneath in exactas and trifectas. I don't have him to win. A couple concerns. You don't usually see trainer Brad Cox do this with horses, is run them back so quickly from a grade 1. So if you like Catching Freedom, you should consider that a plus right now. This is not something he's normally known for doing, and he'd be very careful with this horse because it has a lot of talent. But my concern is that he didn't really accelerate in the Kentucky Derby. He just followed Mystic Dan and ran the exact same final quarter mile that Mystic Dan did, time-wise. The other two horses were passing. Catching Freedom was just kind of running in place. So I'm worried that now, 2 weeks later, he's not going to have that same kick. But I do respect the connection. So that's why he's underneath in my exactas. I love Flavien Prat as a jockey, but I just couldn't play him to win, Kyle.
Take the golf cart out of reverse, Kyle. Take the golf cart out of reverse. We were promised a live interview. Where's the live interview, Kyle?
Guys,
I want some drunk.
I know.
On side, giving their tips.
That's why I'm upset about my mic not working. It's been a long day for me, okay? I wish I could explain everything, but I don't know. Because if I went and go to interview someone, they can't hear you, and my mic's not working. So I know I'm blowing it, but I'm going to try to bring some energy still. I'm trying. And hey, Curtis hit the nail on the head. I completely agree with pretty much everything that he said about Catching Freedom. Ran a pretty similar race. Wasn't going all that speedy in the final eighth of a mile. So you're going to need more of a faster pace here today. I think, if it sets up for a closer, he's the one to catch, but he's not in my top 3. I'm going Mystic Dan. I put this out on the FanDuel Racing app. Mystic Dan is my single on top, and then I have Tuscan Gold and Imagination in second and third, both of them in second and third. So I think Mystic Dan can get it done today, recreate that Derby run, recreate that Southwest run. You get the win? Well, I have 2. It's a little bit chalky, but that's because there's like 4 or 5 horses that are all just splitting that kind of shared prices. So Mystic Dan over Tuscan Gold, who's improved with every single one of his starts. Why can't he do it again today? Get second or third. And Imagination, I think, will be that front runner, will be the pace setter. And if he gets caught late, he gets caught late. Hopefully it's by Mystic Dan.
Boys, here's one I'll throw both of you, but Curtis, you can lead us off. Is there any hesitation behind a bounce from Mystic Dan? I mean, we saw after breaking the maiden early in the career, turned it back a couple of weeks later and didn't fare so well. Could that be a potential scenario, especially after seeing such a competitive and big performance in the Derby?
It is a concern, but the trainer, Kenny McPeak, I thought was smart about waiting until almost the last possible moment to commit to the race. He kept saying he was going to do right by the horse and make sure he was doing okay. He's got a former jockey in Robbie Alvarado who won the Preakness in 2020 for McPeak with Swiss Skydiver, the filly. Robbie Alvarado is now her morning exercise rider, and so he's been giving her the green light all week. So all signs seem to be saying from people that have been in the game a long time would know if this horse wasn't right. They know how valuable he is as a stallion prospect, right? So they're not going to screw around with that. So if he wasn't right, he wouldn't be here. I especially with the way the dirt's been playing, with the slow pace horses being able to sustain it, he has an outside chance to hit the board. He's just not a win candidate for me.
All right, looking at some of the other longer shots, we've endorsed Uncle Heavy. That's now actually been bet down to 7-1. Obviously, the scratch and move had a factor in that. The course with the weather has a big factor. Uncle Heavy, okay, these two got rid of one, Mugatu. Kyle, do you think we can scratch that one out for our
Who's your toss?
Shoot, that's a tough question, honestly. Wow.
It's a tough
Just
one.
Just Steele is my toss.
All
Probably.
right.
I don't hate Mugatu. I don't love Mugatu, but the price is funny. And I was actually just talking to some of their owners, their ownership group. They all have. You guys were just talking about the Will Ferrell character from Zoolander.
Mugatu.
Yeah, they all have little Mugatu pins on them. So I like that horse. And they said if somehow he's able to come in the top 3, they'll likely be sending the horse to the Belmont. So I'll root for Mugatu to come in the top 3, even though it kind of screws my ticket. But still.
I can see a bit of Derek Zoolander with Kyle Levy. I can see it now.
Yeah,
I can see it.
Oh, screenshot this. That is great.
Curtis,
Remember, I like when that meme was going around.
Yeah.
we're bringing it back. Curtis, what about the connections behind Tuscan Gold here? The 8, lightly raced of the field, 3 starts with the 1 win, looks to be a progressive type, and we've seen Chad Brown employ the same tactics in years past, and it's led to success. Could we be watching a monster run here from Tuscan Gold?
I'm banking on it. And first off, let me thank you for not asking me to do a Zoolander impression, because I cannot top it. I won't even try. I know Tuscan Gold has been my top pick in this race by just, a nose over imagination. He's shown a lot of heart and a lot of fight. He can run up closer to the pace if he needs to, which he's going to have to do in this race. But like you say, he's progressing well. Chad Brown had cross-entered this horse in the Grade 3 Peter Pan Stakes, which was last weekend at Belmont at the Big A race he very likely could have won based off how that played out. And Chad Brown instead scratched and said, here, he wanted to see how the field looked and was shaping up for the Preakness before he committed. Well, he committed with Muth in here. And I'll tell you up front, I was going to put all of my bread money on Muth to win this race before he scratched. So if that horse is taken out and now Tuscan Gold is going to come in here, without that horse, to me, he stands right up there as high as anybody.
I was just about to kind of ask you about Muth, actually, Curtis, because when you're playing the horses, are you more of all right, so Tuscan Gold was 8-1 morning line. Do you look into the value of the play and say, all right, I like Tuscan Gold a lot, but I don't really like him if he's going to get bet down to 2-1?
Yeah, absolutely. And that was part of it as well, as I had a feeling, again, before Muth scratched, that he wasn't going to be bet.
He probably wasn't going to even be 8-1 with Muth in the race. Taking Muth out of a race kills his value, in my opinion, but it kills the value of a lot of the horses. So,
yeah, that's true, and especially because Mystic Dan's not getting bet like the adjusted morning line had him at 8-5. Yeah. I'm quite surprised that he's so cold on the board.
Is Tuscan Gold live odds right now? Is he second choice, or is he first?
I'm
4-1. We've seen a lot of 4-1s though. So Tuscan Gold's at 4-1. Imagination at 4-1. Catching Freedom's at 7-2, and Mystic Dan's still the favorite at 3-1. So even though we talk about the value maybe dropping on some of the other horses with Muth being scratched, if you liked Muth, well, then you're getting value on the favorite in Mystic Dan.
Yeah, I completely agree. That's what kind of surprised me. I knew Mystic Dan wasn't going to be the favorite if Muth was in the race, but I figured just because of the adjusted morning line that was 8-5 and people root for Triple Crown horses, I figured he would take more money, which is why it totally scares me. And I hate saying it because scared money don't make no money. And you got to take advantage of overlays. But when no one's betting a horse that I like, it kind of throws me off sometimes. That being said, I'll still hammer him. Mystic
Kyle, you mentioned a lot of the race goers out there. They're having a good time. They're getting.
Should I just go show you guys it?
All right,
I'm gonna mute. Or maybe I shouldn't mute myself. But if it gets too loud, you have to tell me, and I'll mute myself.
Okay, so Curtis, as Kyle,
I'll take the walk over.
To get us a couple of interviews. How big is a Triple Crown for the sports fans coming across? We've only seen it happen in the history of horse racing 13 times. The last time was back in 2018. This would be a massive deal if Mystic Dan could rattle off the Derby into the Preakness and then be live going into the Belmont.
Yeah, it's huge, and it's a great thing for everybody involved with the sport, because more attention on the sport in a positive sense means more eyes, means more betting, which means more money just being, going into the purse structures and supporting all of the aftercare programs. Like it's good for everybody when that happens. So if he wins, I'm not going to be upset, even though that'll be twice that he's beaten me. But yeah, the Triple Crown is a huge deal for non-sports fans, or for non-horse racing fans coming from the sports world, because it's not something that we get to see very often. They talked about it after the Derby, the Gasway family that owns Mystic Dan. It's like, you have like a 0.1% chance with a horse that you have of it ever being good enough to make the Kentucky Derby, and even getting to the races. And then it's like a 0.1% of that are good enough to run on the Kentucky Derby Trail and qualify. So to even get there with a horse in the first place is so hard. And then now they get to try and go, for a second race. And it's just, it shows you like the true grit and determination you need to win the Triple Crown.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give it a little look at the mud.
Oh, wow.
Here he is. Kyle getting a mud.
Look at that.
I never took you for a mother.
They don't care. The people don't care. Let's go. Let's go. We're trying. We're trying. All right, who's got a winner? Who's got a winner? Who you guys got? Preakness. Tuscan Gold. We heard Tuscan Gold. There's one. We're on a little live stream. FanDuel.
Everyone else said Tuscan Gold is a lot. He was born in the mud. He thrives in the mud. How we doing?
What about that haircut?
All right. There's
Who was his pick? Was it
Tuscan Gold. Was the audio bad because it's coming out of my AirPods probably?
It's good. It's good.
It was more the person who delivered it.
Okay.
Job safe. Job safe there, Kyle.
I'm going to just hold up the FanDuel mic and hopefully someone says, oh, FanDuel. That's usually what happens.
How's there a
There we go. Who we got? Who?
Hi, I'm Valerie.
This is Valerie. Valerie, we got the Preakness coming up. What do you got?
I'll show you. You ready for this?
Okay, all right.
I got 2 bets.
Okay.
But wait first.
FanDuel Racing app.
I got Mystic Dan. You better got to get on FanDuel Racing, though.
FanDuel, right?
That's right. All right, who do you got? Who do you got?
Okay. First one I have number 2, Uncle Heavy.
Uncle Heavy.
Of course.
Uncle Heavy.
Oh, there we go.
And my second one, this is kind of different. Tuscan Gold.
Tuscan Gold and Uncle Heavy.
Yes.
Tuscan Gold and Uncle Heavy.
Hey, fingers
You got a new one?
I got paraphernalia on
Nope. Can't do that. Can't do that.
This is live.
Can't do that. Oh, I dropped an
Kyle's quick
AirPod.
on that one.
I dropped an AirPod. Thank you.
It is to the Preakness. Preakness 149.
Guys, I got more.
my morning best. Is it live? Is it live?
It's live. It's live. Don't say anything too bad.
Hey, get my shirt. Get my shirt.
What does your shirt say?
getting there.
Raise hell, praise down.
We going real fast. Man, we going real left, baby.
We're going fast and left, baby. Fast and left. Have a good one, boys. Good luck. Good luck. Oh, man. Is this working? Am I too loud for you guys?
Keep it going. We need a full screen on Kyle, I feel like.
I thought I was having a good time, but man.
I love this stuff, guys. These people are crazy.
Wow.
No one cares about anything.
That's what it's all about. 31 minutes to get your tickets in the FanDuel Racing app. 31 minutes until Preakness 149. You can feel the buzz. Kyle's on the grounds. He's getting us up to speed. They're all getting excited. I believe we've got more racing from Churchill. We have to get stuck back in to the next one here as they are headed across to the saddling area here for the Preakness. So the big connections getting ready. Okay, race number 2 is already off there at Churchill. They are flying, Curtis. We've got action on top of action for a Saturday.
Guys, I got someone else.
Okay,
We're
come
on a
on,
live
Kyle.
stream. You just got to give your pick
Well
for the
dressed.
Preakness.
I like the bow tie.
They're saying well dressed. They like your bow tie. They're complimenting you.
I got my 2 picks right here. 50 for Seize the Gray.
He's the gray.
There it is.
Oh, we haven't talked
You
about
got to get these bets in on FanDuel, guys. $20 no sweat bet for free. FanDuel Racing for free. $20 no sweat bet. Come on.
Might just do that.
Good luck, boys. All right. Have fun. Yep. There we go. See the $20 no sweat bet.
Now, can you
telling
convince me that wasn't one of our marketing people that was
Yeah.
in the crowd, and like you go up, oh hey, I need to bet this. Where can I do it? Hey, here's $20.
Ultimately,
Not convinced.
probably like that.
That was a plan. All right, let's talk about Seize the Gray, though, while we have a sec here. Curtis, Seize the Gray, morning line was at 15-1, has 3 wins, 9 lifetime starts, did win in the last out, but I feel like not getting much love at all when it comes to this. The 6 now sitting at a little short of a price.
Yeah, he's going to be bet because he's owned by the My Racehorse folks, in which, if you don't know, that's fractional ownership of a horse that you can, for as little as a couple $100 can say that you have co-ownership in a horse. And so when you get a few hundred people supporting the horse, they're all going to put their money on him. It's been an exciting ride for him, but I don't think really give him much of a chance. This actually would have been the next one for me to knock off of our list because he's good at one turn. His 2-turn races really haven't been as strong. The Bluegrass Stakes, he never was involved in that.
Curtis.
Jeff Ruby Stakes, he was third, beaten 4 lengths. So,
Kyle,
Question.
what you got for us?
You may
Did
speak.
you how many bets did you lose because of Seize the Gray on Derby Day?
I didn't lose a single bet. I had him in my pick 5.
Oh, it knocked me out of every single ticket. I was like, God
Yeah,
damn it.
he wasn't. The problem, Kyle, he wasn't chalk. That's the issue.
Oh, no. Oh, you're such a. We haven't even met in person first, Curtis. Come on.
Get
I
those
was
Ray-Bans
six.
on.
I was 6 deep that race, and I didn't have them, so that's embarrassing on my part. But no, I've seen a lot of my racehorse people around, and they're all. I mean, it's awesome. I root for him because actually, probably like 6 or 7 years ago, first time I ever got involved in horse ownership, I had 0.01% of Wayne O, little horse who did not run a single step, but it was
We
through
were
my
both Wayne
racehorse.
O.
No
We were
way!
Wayne O brothers, yeah.
Let's go! That's awesome.
Kyle, speaking of shade from Curtis, you're getting a little shade from the social media crowd watching us right now.
Why?
don't you explain yourself on why Just Steal is a toss for you?
He's not getting the lead. That's why. How can you wire the field if he's not going to get the lead? Everyone was talking about him getting sent in the Derby, and he did. But no, stop it. Stop it. He's not
Just
fast enough.
stop. Just
He's not
steal.
fast enough. There's a reason why the coach has got 2 in the race. That's all I'll say.
You agree?
I really think any runner with the way the course is playing is live going into the starting gate.
No, you know what? You got to throw someone out. You got to toss.
I would say Megatu is up against it. You know what?
Megatu's going to win this thing at this point.
Can I be that guy, Mystic Dan?
No.
Won't hit the VOD.
Come on.
Mystic Dan, see you later. See you later.
That's a hot take. That's a hot take.
Is that
All
bad
right.
form going against the second draw in the Triple Crown, the Derby champion?
A little bit. Now sitting at 5 to 2.
Did you watch that race?
Did
It was
I
a
wa-
monster performance. I'd
You're
be a
just
little
mad because
tired.
your exactions didn't
Yeah,
come through.
I am a little salty about that as well. But great to see they're now walking across. Curtis, how exciting would this next 25 minutes be for the Connections? They're going into one of the biggest races known internationally. We're getting to see all the race goers on site, including Kyle. This is really a special time in the sport.
Yeah, the 149th running of it, so you just kind of feel that history. The track is it's due for some renovations, so it definitely has the feel of history there. But it's such an important race that so many great performances, even if they weren't for a horse that won and went on to compete for a Triple Crown. It's just so many amazing battles have taken place here, just even in the 2000s. So it's a race that doesn't have the same luster that it used to, but for a lot of these Connections, they've been in the game for forever. It still has that luster for them. So it's a very important race. It's also a grade 1. It's a $2 million purse. There's a lot to run for, if not even just the history.
I feel like obviously the storyline coming into this has been Muth, but specifically Bob Baffert and the success that he's had. I mean, he's done it better than anyone else at Preakness, holding 8 records, 1 last year. Kyle, what's it been like for Bob Baffert and his team out there getting ready with Imagination? Now is his only horse competing.
I would say it was obviously, I don't need to be obvious, but the scratch of Muth sucked, and I'm sure they were all very down about that, but they still seem pretty confident with Imagination. Yes, sir. FanDuel. Yes, sir. Good luck.
Are you picking up digits during a live show? Are you picking up digits in the
I'm
outfield?
trying. Digits.
Social handles, little Graham.
But I don't know. I haven't gotten to personally talk with Baffert's team, so I can't speak for anything on that. But I would say they're pretty confident, and it's Bob Baffert. The guy's been in this position plenty of times, and he gets the job done even when people doubt him. So can't doubt Imagination today.
Sunglasses out there. It's not even sunny. He's
Curtis,
having fun.
I mean,
saying be wary of the other Baffert. Always be wary of the other Baffert runner. I know we've only got the one going now, though.
He's still the other Baffert.
Yeah.
He was the other Baffert when they sent him.
Yeah, here's a look back at the Santa Anita Derby. Imagination, Frankie Dettori. I mean, Frankie brings so much experience. At 53 years of age, chasing his first win in the Preakness, or first classic, I guess you could say there. He's had a lot of success at the Breeders' Cup, but this would be massive for Frankie to get the score there. So turn it back to the Santa Anita Derby. Finished second too. Stronghold, who was my top endorsement going in to the Derby, didn't fare so well. So let's see if Imagination can get it done here today. Kyle, it looks to be a packed house. In terms of the race goers. How educated are they of some of the big names? I imagine everyone knows Frankie Dettori. Everyone knows Bob Baffert. Who else is into the talk?
I think not to. Oh, I'm getting beeped at. I think not to rag on any of these fans here. A lot of them aren't really sure what a racehorse even is. Like, I'll be honest here. If I was to say, hey, you guys know Frankie Dettori, I'm not sure what the percentage would be. Now, if I was to go to the grandstand, it's a totally different question. The grandstand is a lot more. The average age here is like, how we doing? We got more fans. FanDuel.
Oh, yes. I am a great fan of the horse racing.
There we go. Great fans of the horse racing. Wait, here's a test. What do you guys think of Frankie Dettori?
I'm betting him to win. No, I got the A. No, I picked him.
All right. Good luck.
Good luck, sir.
Good luck. Good luck. Enjoy the Preakness.
Good luck, y'all. Good night, everyone. Cheers to love, cheers to honor. If you can't come in.
Oh, no, can't do that.
That one.
I don't know what's allowed and what's not, but I'm trying to stop it before it gets too crazy.
You just saved us there on that one.
Oh, my God. It's a good thing I'd heard that before.
Ratings are going through the roof here.
Ratings
are going through the roof. This is what we want to see.
But honestly, that's what's so fun about horse racing in general. That's what's so great about Preakness Day is that you've got everyone there. Yes, of course, there's going to be your horse racing experts that know everything about the field, but then you've got people that are out there having fun, having a few drinks.
We're interrupting you again with some more fans.
The boys!
Jason Tatum over Celtics in 4.
Celtics in 4?
Yeah, Celtics.
Wait. Who are we playing? It better be the Knicks.
I think it's going to be the Knicks.
I'm a Knicks guy, so. All right, more importantly, we got the Preakness coming up. Who you guys got in the Preakness?
Mystic Dan.
Mystic Dan?
He's also 0 for 4 right now. Fade me. Mystic Dan.
Mystic Dan. We got Mystic Dan betters. All right.
Appreciate you
Good
guys.
luck, boys. Good luck.
I love FanDuel.
Let's go.
Yo, FanDuel, thanks for coming to DC finally.
Hey!
Precedent,
You guys were our 23rd state. We'll say state in quotes.
Before FanDuel got there.
There we go. We got you, boys. Take advantage of that no sweat bet on the Preakness. $20. We got you.
Get his email. We'll stay in touch, Kyle.
Yes, sir. You guys are getting a live selfie. Hold on.
Let's go. No sweat Preakness bet up to $20 coming back over at the FanDuel Racing app for Preakness 149. We're 21 minutes out from a start time. The top 3 betting choices right now, it's the number 5, Mystic Dan, your Kentucky Derby champion, sitting at 3-1, plus 300 as the shortest price amongst a field of 8 runners. That's a great number. Catching Freedom, the 3 there, sitting at 7-2. Tuscan Gold, the 8, sitting at 4-1, alongside Imagination, the 9, at 4-1. Now, gents, we've made a great argument for Mystic Dan. The jockeys are on their way out to meet the connections and get the leg up. Before we go over our top endorsements, what's a wager that maybe the bettors aren't aware of that you would jump in to play today on such a big occasion? Kyle, we'll start with you. What's the wager you're going on?
Putting me on the spot. Oh, heck yes. The super high five.
My God.
Explain the super high five for people that don't know.
For people that don't know, it's weird that it's called the super high five, number one, because so an exacta is the first 2. You need to pick the winner and the second place horse. Trifecta, first 3. Superfecta, first 4. Super high five, you need to pick first place, second place, third place, fourth place, fifth place. And it's $1 minimum, which makes it a lot harder to bet than normally. Like a superfecta might be a 10-cent minimum. You can add a bunch of combos. I like playing the super high five because basically, especially in how many horses are there? 8? You're basically just picking who's going to come in 7th or 6th, 7th, and 8th. But it's a fun one to play, and I would single Mystic Dan up top, probably go with the 8 and the 9 underneath in 2nd and 3rd. And then in 4th and 5th, I'd probably go with Uncle Heavy and Catching Freedom. So I would be 5 over 8, 9 in 2nd and 3rd. And in 3rd and 4th, I'd go with Uncle Heavy and Catching Freedom. So I know it's like hard that I'm just speaking it out, but that's how I would do it. I like the super high five. It's a fun bet, and it's $1 minimum, so it can actually pay decently in a short field.
Yeah, so essentially it's just picking the top 5, who's going to finish from 1st to 5th. But I like when you're saying it's a little bit of a versus the Derby with an 8-horse field, you're essentially just eliminating 3. You're picking the Superfecta, which is the first 4.
I like the Superfecta.
Is that what you'll be playing today?
The first 4, I will, but I'll be smashing it for $1. You can play it for 10 cents. You can jump in, have a bunch of combinations. With a smaller field, we're probably not going to see the monster prize pools that I was hoping to see this afternoon, but I love the superfecta. First four across the finish line. I've already highlighted a couple of the big endorsements for me. I like Catching Freedom up on top. I think Uncle Heavy, the 2, is a must-use. And then if we're looking towards the outside, Tuscan Gold, who I know both the gents are big towards there as well. So superfecta as a wager to jump in and have a bit of fun with.
Curtis, Tuscan Gold, your top endorsement that you're going with, but give us a bet that you like to mess with. Exacta, trifecta, superfecta, maybe going with Kyle's super high 5.
I mean, I don't have, Kyle Moneybags Levy's money, so I can't play super high 5. I'm just a simple small town bird lawyer. Okay, I'm gonna do a dollar exact. I like exacta boxes. I think that's a fun way to do it. If you're trying to get beyond just picking a winner, I'm gonna go with an 8-9 exacta over 3-8-9. For $1 that'll cost you $6 total. And all it's saying is you need either the 8 Tuscan Gold or the 9 Imagination to win. Those are the 2 horses I think can win. And then I've got Catching Freedom to possibly get second, Tuscan Gold, Imagination. You could throw Uncle Heavy in there as well. It only ends up being $8. But the point about this bet and why I like exacta boxes or exactas is that you can, if there's a horse like Mystic Dan that I'm trying to beat that I think is going to take a lot of money and won't finish in the top 3, there's added value, even though the horses I'm using are 7-2, 4-1, 4-1. If I can get the 5-2 favorite completely out of the top 2, he can finish third. If he finishes second or first, I'm going to lose, but I don't think he'll do it.
But that's what's good about the box is that you can finish either first or second. Okay, so we've thrown a lot of numbers out. We've thrown a lot of names out. We're 18 minutes to post time for the Preakness Stakes. I think we should just go a little round table, maybe 60 seconds or less. Give us your top endorsement and why. Kyle, start us off.
I had to unmute myself. Sorry about that. Top pick is Mystic Dan. Look, I'm not going with anything crazy here, but the horse's best run was 3 races back in the Southwest on a muddy track. Absolutely destroyed. Put up his best speed figure yet. That's even when you compare it to the Kentucky Derby win. He put up 101 buyer in the Southwest. He put up 100 buyer in the Kentucky Derby. So if we're able to kind of stalk the pace, not be too far up there, and just ride the rail again, why not? So I'll take Mystic Dan, and I just think the price that we're getting is totally fair. So you guys said 5-2 right now? Is that what he's at?
Mystic Dan, 5-2.
Absolutely fair price. Whatever. That's all I got. I'm not like crazy confident, so I'm not gonna like crazy talk about it. But the price is right for me, so that's what I got.
The price is right. Mystic Dan, Kyle Levy's top endorsement sitting at 5-2. Dubs, where are we going?
I'm going Catching Freedom, the 3 there for Brad Cox. I think this is a really good spot. I like the conditions. I think we get a good pace set up. I thought it was a pretty big performance in the Derby and well suited to turning it back just a couple of weeks removed from such a big race. So give me the 3 Catching Freedom, who now sits still at a decent number. I think it's a wide open race and the board's reflecting that as well. I'm going against Kyle's top selection. I think we could see a bit of a bounce there. Hate to be that guy, but that's the great thing about this game. So Kyle likes Mystic Dan. I like the 3 Catching Freedom. We've all got our own opinions. Magic, split the difference. Where are you going?
I'm going with Tuscan Gold, and unlike the other horses that that you guys have been picking, this horse is still on the improve. He's still lightly raced. Like he's debuts with a 65 buyer, doesn't run that well, but the winner was Sierra Leone, who almost won the Kentucky Derby. And then he takes a little bit of a break, comes back at Gulfstream, wins very impressively, going a mile and 16th at Gulfstream. And then Louisiana Derby, you watch that race. Yes, Catching Freedom beat him. Anna Marie got second. Tuscan Gold was up there on the pace. And every other horse that was on that pace, I think just finished the race last week. So, he was able to do something that other horses that ran fast early weren't able to do. So I like him. He got the 95 buyer in that spot off of an 84 maiden buyer. 3rd start off the layoff, 3rd start at age 3. And oh, by the way, Chad Brown has won the Preakness twice already with horses making their 4th career start. So for the trainer, it's nothing new. For the jockey, he's won this race. It's nothing new. I think we see another repeat effort of that trend for Chad Brown in Tuscan Gold.
That was a stat that I didn't know, and I'm impressed by it. That Chad, who did he win it with that only had 3 starts? Do you know, Curtis? I'm trying to think.
It was early voting, and I believe cloud computing.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then can I not throw another 4-1 in the mix? Imagination. Bob Baffert's only horse now, going to be expected to be the early speed horse. And here's what I like. In the 6 career starts from Imagination, has yet to finish worse than second. So was a runner-up in the Santa Anita Derby, but won the San Felipe Grade 2 Stakes, comes in with probably the most speed of the race, gets that outside draw, which should help there, and is going to really set the pace for the race. And it's Bob Baffert. He's got the most success here at Preakness with the 8 wins. He's the winner last year. I really like Imagination sitting at a pretty good price still at 4-1.
It'd be quite the storyline as well. A bit of a redemption spot. Obviously, we didn't get to see Bob out there at Churchill Downs, and this is a stage as big as it gets. And, not to say that we've been up against adversity, but obviously it's been a challenging 12 months for Bob again. Muth gets scratched this week, and there were similar storylines 12 months ago going into this very day of racing, and Bob got the score. So looking to do it again there with Imagination, who should set the tone for this one. So we've got 14 minutes to post time. That means you've got 14 minutes to head over to the FanDuel Racing app and get those final wagers in, whether you want to tail last, go against us, build your own tickets, the super high five, the exactors, and of course those superfectors. And Kyle, that means that you're 14 minutes to find someone to donate a beer to you so we can see a shoey live on this feed to get us jumped up. To get us jumped up for the party.
Were you given inside information?
No. About what? About what?
Whatever are you talking about?
I interviewed someone today, a fan on the infield, and we did rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Loser had to do a shoey. Thank God I won because I wasn't going to do the shoey, but he did it. He did it. He did it, and it was incredible. The video it's a little out of focus, but I'll post it on social media at some point because it was fantastic. Fantastic.
Wow. Okay. Talking about the pace of the race here, Curtis, who's going to put the pressure on Imagination? Because if Imagination doesn't get any pressure, welcome to the winner's circle, my friend. How do you think this race is going to play out in the early stanzas?
If someone pressures, I think it's the 6 sees the gray. And I think Hernandez on Mystic Dan is going to watch and see. He's going to be the inside of all of the other potential speed horses. He'll watch and see what happens with Imagination. And I've got to imagine someone as smart and seasoned as Brian Hernandez is going to see. If Imagination goes off on his own, you could see him ask Mystic Dan to go right up there to his throat latch. Early in his career, that was not a weird thing for this horse to be right there on the pace. So he has the ability to do that and still win. He showed that in his maiden win at Churchill Downs last November. I don't know if challenging Imagination early is going to be the right move. I think a horse like Tuscan Gold is going to sit right off of it. Just Steel we saw in the Kentucky Derby was, I don't want to say hard to handle, but Keith Asmussen just let him go, and it sounded like that it wasn't his fault. The horse was just geared up, but traditionally he isn't forwardly placed. So I don't think it'll be him. I think it's either sees the gray, goes up there with him, or Mystic Dan suddenly realizes like, oh, shoot, we got to hurry up and get into this race or we are going to have no chance.
Kyle, what do you expect to see? Who's going to be there as the front runner?
I've been convinced that it's been Imagination this whole time. So I think, listen, you said it right, Dubs. If no one presses this horse, Imagination's going to walk into the winner's circle.
Yeah. And I mean, Frankie's motivated. Frankie wants this race more than
agreed. Anyone. But at the same time, Frankie Dettori on a full send on a dirt sprint, or not dirt sprint, but dirt route, it's not necessarily his go-to. Yeah, so true. That's kind of one of the diffractors, I guess. For who's going to get the lead, I kind of agree with Curtis that it might be Seize the Gray. Just Deal might get sent for it too. I just don't think that anyone's going to be able to keep up with Imagination, because if the horse wants to win, the horse has to get the lead, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked pace. We've given our top endorsements. I feel like a lot of people on Uncle Heavy as maybe that price play with the weather. Kyle, give us your thoughts on the 2 Uncle Heavy sitting at 7-1, been bet down. Morning line was at 20-1. Think they've got a shot?
I think he's got a shot, but I'm not going to be playing it at 7-1. I like the 20-1 morning line a lot more. And I think a fair price would have been maybe 12, 14-1. You're getting the best jockey in the world, Irad Ortiz in the irons, but you're coming off of a bad effort. However, 2 races back in the Withers, awesome effort on a sloppy track. So if you can bring that form back that you had back in February, yeah, his horse has got a good shot. Good price, not as good enough for me. I'm a big numbers guy, especially when it comes to betting. So like getting those last minute bets in, making sure that I'm getting the price that I want, which is why I'm going with Mystic Dan, because we're getting a good price, and probably why I'm fading Uncle Heavy, because we're not getting the best price.
And we've just heard the riders up call from the one and only legendary NFL player Ray Lewis. The jockeys getting the leg up, and they will head out on course up toward the starting gate.
I have a
Curtis,
question.
Yo.
Sorry. How are we watching the race? Am I calling this again?
Yes. Kyle, call it.
I have to find a TV, but okay. I'll plan for that.
We were
You're at the
expecting
track.
it, Kyle,
Go
after
watch
your
the race.
performance.
Brother, I'm in the infield. I don't know how to watch the race from the infield.
You're Kyle Moneybags Levy. Climb a pole.
Yeah.
I don't like being called Moneybags.
You'll find a way there, mate.
I love your new nickname.
Yo, look at this slop.
No
Should I go
general
through
admin. If you get the super
Wow.
high five home, you're sliding in that
Oh!
face first.
Oh!
That's
No!
a little slip and slide. Just
Chocolate.
dive
Did anyone
right
just
on
see
in.
that? Did anyone just see that?
No.
I feel like we should throw Oh no, the AirPods are done.
The AirPod is
The
done.
AirPods are done.
Oh no.
This
This
could
is
be-
not good.
This could be
That's a
tough
party
day
foul.
Here. You can
Oh.
borrow one of mine.
yeah.
here.
Oh.
Throw it back in there, mate. Come on. Kyle Levy.
Oh,
There it
this
is.
was a
Kyle
bad
Moneybags
decision.
Levy. We've got his tag updated.
And I feel like he's got the
For the
cool
live
AirPods,
stream.
Dogs.
too. Yeah.
I don't know how to put this AirPod in.
We always knew you weren't a mutter, Kyle. We knew you weren't a mutter.
My mutter was a mutter. Yes, sir. I'm with FanDuel. We're on a little stream right now. You got a pick for the dirt, or not for the dirt, for the Preakness? Yes, sir.
I'd take a pick right now. What's up, guys?
Oh my God.
They're all shouting for you.
I've already won $100. We're hoping we double that. Double the profits.
All right, let's go. You better be betting on FanDuel.
Let's
Of
go.
course. Of
FanDuel
course.
Racing.
I like the thought of like betting on a machine, but also FanDuel's got the best
Best
rewards.
interface, the best rewards, the best
It's
everything.
a great interface, but also they have like bonuses, which is what I love. The bonuses. Yes.
Heck yeah, dude.
Sorry.
You're good. You're
There's
good.
another marketing plan from us.
He's invited to the FanDuel Christmas party.
Hey, good luck, brother.
Tell his cousin Post Malone he can come and perform as well. That's fantastic.
Jack Harlow.
You love to see it.
Oh my
7
gosh.
minutes till the start time until Preakness 149, race 13 out there at Pimlico Racecourse. If you're looking to jump in, download, sign up right here, right now, the FanDuel Racing app. You can watch, wager along from exactly where you are here today. What a Saturday afternoon it has been so far. We're getting a good look of Mystic Dan, your Kentucky Derby champion, seeking to become the 14th horse to take out the Triple Crown. Well, it starts today. Curtis, this essentially is the bridge between a Kentucky Derby champion and being a potential great in the sport of horse racing.
Yeah, there have been plenty of horses that won the Kentucky Derby, and we, for whatever reason, just didn't perform as highly again. You can look back to Rich Strike from 2022. It just sometimes that happens. Yep. Sometimes the lightning strikes perfectly in that moment. Other times it can strike 3 times in a row, and you have something super special. So it's really exciting. Like, I'm very excited for this race. I've been excited the whole time. Like I mentioned earlier in our show, when the Kentucky Derby winner misses the Preakness, it just takes all the air out of the race for so many people, and you can feel it. You can feel the lack of energy. But when the Derby winner's here, win or lose, there's so much energy, so much excitement. Just so many more dollars being bet, and people cashing in with big win tickets. Playing Kyle's super high five. Plenty of things you can do. We got 2 minutes to post over at Churchill Downs race 3. By the way, I had the winner in race 2 as well, but and I feel like Kyle should brag about it because it was a 3-5 favorite. So I didn't want to come on here and say too much.
This guy keeps bragging me when my top picks in the Derby and Oaks were both like 30-1 shots that came in last. All right.
I like the subtle, like Curtis, like, oh, I also had the winner in Churchill Downs race 2. So what about race 3? Who's the pick?
Let me go look. I closed out the PPs for us, so let me get that back up. I'll tell you in a second.
If you're looking to jump in and play race number 3 out there at Churchill, minus 16th claiming event there for the fillies and mares. That's a tough one on paper as well. I'll tell you what, there's no shortage of great wagering to be had, but we're getting really close to a start time. Rockstar Doctor, the one with J Love aboard at 2-1 in the third coming up here in Churchill Downs. They're already out there on the course. It looks to be a fantastic afternoon out there in Louisville.
Yeah, it looks less rainy. It looks like the sun is out, and I'm sure a lot of a lot of them wish that was the weather they were experiencing there. But Kyle, it doesn't look too bad. I know it's like muddy and the ground isn't great, but I mean, a little overcast, nothing crazy.
The rain has subsided, so no more rain, which is good.
Yeah.
So it's not too bad.
Old Hilltop. Curtis, give me a track that you haven't been to that's on the bucket list. Obviously, Pimlico's one. Where else?
I'll give you two. One that's I'll give you Saratoga. I haven't been there, and that's something that I feel like every horse racing person should, every fan should visit at one point. Listen, 2020 was supposed to be my whole year of visiting all the tracks on the East Coast I haven't been to. I was going to do that with a good friend of mine, and then COVID happened, and so that plan kind of went out the window. So that's one, and then also Woodbine up in Toronto. I've always loved playing Woodbine. It looks like a gorgeous facility. I know they got the casino and the hotel as well, so. There's a lot going on at Woodbine, and I'm from Michigan originally, so being in Toronto is not very far from where I grew up. So it's like being back home with a little bit of like an extra maple syrup touch to it.
Oh,
Kyle, top 3 racetracks. You're
Saratoga.
In. All right.
He was
Saratoga.
Ready.
He's ready for this.
Saratoga.
Top 1, 2, 3. Boom.
No, it's Saratoga and Keeneland 1 and 2. 3 is kind of tough. It kind of takes a drop after those two because those are easy 1, 2 for me. Maybe Del Mar. I like Del Mar a lot. I like the view.
Typing up Del Mar. I've yet to go out to Del Mar and
where the turf meets the surf.
Del Mar.
Yeah, Curtis, have you been to Del Mar?
You haven't been to Del Mar?
No, I have. I'm saying it's number 3 for me.
Oh, I thought it was top 3 tracks we haven't visited.
Oh shoot! Did I just completely mess up the question?
Favorite.
Oh, okay. I was like, how have we not been to Del Mar?
Top 3 tracks I haven't been to.
That's a tough
Charlestown.
One.
You can say Randwick. You can say Randwick.
Okay, if I can go international, ask it.
Yes.
Randwick, and Saudi Arabia, right?
Yeah.
Which one's the beautiful one? Is it Saudi Arabia or is it Dubai?
Maidan.
Maidan.
Maybe it's Maidan. Maybe it's Maidan.
Hey,
yeah, I'd go international.
Less than 3 minutes until the start time here. If you're looking to watch the race, head over to NBC. They'll be showing it live. We'll be taking you through a live watch along. Kyle's going to give us a play-by-play as the race plays out.
I'm going to try.
Now down to 2 minutes until post time. It's race number 13 at the FanDuel Racing app, and it remains Mystic Dan, the Kentucky Derby champion, the number 5 horse as the favorite at 5-2. A really good number considering we've just got the 8 horses going in to the starting gate. Once again, I'll stick with the 3. Catching Freedom, Flavion Pratt, Brad Cox combined, getting bet down here, sitting at 7-2. I think it's a really good spot. Like the connections. I like that we're turning around. I think it's very bullish from one of the best trainers in the game. Kyle, get us up to speed again. Top endorsement. Why? Why are they winning today's race?
Mystic Dan, get it done on the slop again. And hey, I like rooting for a Triple Crown, and I think we could potentially get it this year. So I'll take Mystic Dan as my top pick, and I'm taking Imagination and Tuscan Gold underneath in the trifecta. So 5 over the 8 and the 9. Hopefully get a little bit of value home. No matter what, I think it's going to be a decent payout. No matter what happens because of the odds. No one's too crazy of a favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Curtis, remind everyone where you're headed.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the 8 Tuscan Gold. He's 4-1 right now. These odds have been holding extremely steady since we got to this race. Really hardly any variation. The only ones that I think have changed a little bit are the 2, 6, and 7, so the longer shots. But listen, if you like Mystic Dan, you are getting a really amazing price on the Kentucky Derby winner. Yeah, he's the favorite, but he should be 8-5 in this race. So 5-2 holding steady is great. I'm on Tuscan Gold. I thought 4-1 was realistic with the scratch of Muth, so to me, there's still value that makes him playable there. He's on the improve. This is his 3rd start as a 3-year-old. Chad Brown has won this race twice before with horses making their 4th career starts. He knows what he's doing. The jockeys won the race. He knows what he's doing. So I think all signs are pointing up for Tuscan Gold, so I'll take the horse on the improve to win the Preakness.
It's getting pretty out here, guys. Sorry.
Let's see, Kyle. Give us a little.
Let's see if I can. How do I? Here we go.
The sun is shining.
I know, it looks nice.
It's getting nice.
Mate,
yeah, it's not too bad.
I know. Parking lot.
I know. I'm sorry, but
yeah, come on.
I was hoping for a nice scenic shot. It's nice. There's a
there we go.
There's a Penske. There's a cherry lift. Oh, come on, my guy.
We can do better. We can do better, money bags.
Are those the tents he's supposed to go run on that cover the?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Seems more dangerous with a tent on it, but hey, you do you.
Final minute until kickoff here. Preakness 149, race number 13 at Pimlico. They're behind. They're just doing the final motions here before they start to move into position into the starting gate. The 5, Mystic Dan, still sitting there as your favorite at 5-2. So we've gone over our top endorsements. Meghan, you like the early speed. Give us the sell.
Imagination, the only horse now in for Bob Baffert, sitting at 4-1, should have the most speed, I'd say, in this race. I think the outside draw is going to help. Runner-up in the Santa Anita Derby, won the San Felipe Grade 2 Stakes. And you look at the 6 starts, has yet to finish worse than runner-up. And I'm not betting against Bob Baffert. It's really just as simple as that.
Yeah, so whoever has the highest place finishing horse, and hopefully one of us has the winner, gets to come up with something for Kyle to do before he leaves the live stream this afternoon.
What if it's Kyle? What if Kyle?
I'm sorry that punishment.
I'm walking around because I had it up on my iPad, but now my Wi-Fi is all not the best, so I need to go watch this live. Oh, I got a good spot. I got a good spot. I got a good spot.
I got a good spot.
It sounds like
I got a good spot.
Yes. You're trying to back down from the challenge. You've got the short price favorite, mate. Come on.
Yes. And anyone who's joining us here that wasn't with us for our live stream of the Kentucky Derby, Kyle Moneybags Levy gave us the best play-by-play. And so he's got to follow up that performance. And I feel like there's a little bit of nerves happening, Kyle. Are you ready for this?
There is.
Ready to go back to back?
I am. I think we're in a good spot, though. I got the big board right here to watch it from.
These
so I'll be
weak,
okay.
The heavy, Slim Shady getting ready for race number 13 out there in the Maryland Jockey Club. Okay, so we've got our top endorsements of who we think is going to win the race. You can see the place wager at the FanDuel Racing app. Finish inside the top 2, a nice return. Who's the live long shot? Moneybags, who is your live long shot? To go with the favorite, finish inside the top 2, place wager. Let's cash.
Oh, shoot, you were talking to me. My bad.
Money bag.
I'm not used to this money bag thing. Mugatu, 16-1. Terrible price, but we're taking it. Come on, Mugatu!
Good call, Derek. Curtis, who do we like? Magic.
I guess that's how you balance out chalk, is you go all the way to the other end of the set.
It's a 5-2 chalk. Curtis, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you next time. I don't know when we're on air together, if we are.
I think my favorite thing about this is the side beef between Moneybags and Magic. I think that's really adding to this.
In years to come, we can say we were here for this moment. Preakness 149 and the side beef between Moneybags and Magic.
Long shot. He's going in right now for my feed. The 7 Just Steal. He doesn't have a chance to win. He can get second. He's done it 4 times in his 12-race career, and he's done it 2. If you like, he's got that fierceness thing where he finishes second. Terrible. Second, terrible. So now we're gonna get second again.
Let's go. They're getting set for a start.
Yeah, they're getting ready to go. I'm trying to set up my phone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got this.
Second draw.
And they are off.
Let's go.
They're off and running. It looks like there's a 4-way rush to get the lead. Imagination is one of them. The 6, Seize the Gray, is another. It's right now Seize the Gray who's gotten the lead on his outside. Oh, no! Oh, no!
The phone goes down!
On his outside is Imagination, who has taken, he's taken a step back now. So it is Seize the Gray on the lead to his outside is Imagination. Behind him, Just Steal is right on the outside of Mystic Dan, your 150th Kentucky Derby winner, as they go around the clubhouse turn and make their way to the backstretch. It is still Seize the Gray. Imagination on the outside. Mystic Dan is in third, and to his outside is Just Steal. Following up behind them is Tuscan Gold, it looks like. And the trailer right now, the trailer is Tuscan Gold, actually. They're all lined up, separated by about 7 lengths as they reach the end of the backstretch and go around the final turn. Right now, it was an opening half mile in 47 and 2. Seize the Gray is still the leader. Imagination, Just Steal follows closely behind. It has been a tight race so far. No one's made their move just yet. Seize the Gray has been able to get that early lead. Imagination falling back right now while Mystic Dan hugs the rail, makes his move. To his outside is Just Steal, who came back and is looking to make a little bit of a late bid. But here is the 3 making another move as well. Right now, it is Seize the Gray still in first. Mystic Dan is trailing right behind him to his outside. Imagination to his outside is Just Steal. And here comes Catching Freedom, the late runner, making a bid. But it is still Seize the Gray. Mystic Dan on his outside. Catching Freedom is in third. Catching Freedom is trying to catch up to Mystic Dan, but nobody is going to reach Seize the Gray. The My Race horse gets it done at a nice price in the 149th Preakness Right behind him was Catching Freedom, and closely behind him, Mystic Dan. What a ride! What a run! Woo!
Seize the Grey, seize the day. Goes off at 9-1. A monster for Preakness.
They let him walk. They let him walk. I'm walking here.
What a call.
That was pretty sweet. Forget about it.
The best in the business.
I'm from New York.
Mate, what do you make of this performance? He's been cut off.
Oh my gosh! I mean,
Probably.
It's a live stream for FanDuel. Yeah, we work for FanDuel. No, you love it. You love it. No.
Wow, Seize the Grey. Okay,
Magic.
for all of the conversation about all the upsets, Seize the Grey. I think the only person that shouted out Seize the Grey was one of Kyle's fans that he saw on the streets. Magic, what do you make of this performance?
Well, wow. I mean, it was super impressive. It played out exactly like I said. The trend we're going for the dirt was if you let a horse go out on the lead on its own, it was going to win like that. How is it that horse? And what was Frankie doing on Imagination? It looked like he had every chance to go.
Curtis, do you have the fractions? I only saw the opening at half. That was like 47.33.
They took him off the screen. I can. Okay, here we go. So they went 111.95, 137.53, and finished in 156.82.
I mean, dude, he went basically 24 flat, pretty much. It was 23.98 opening quarter. Wow. That is not what I expected.
Unofficial. Seize the Grey gets the win. 6 over the 5. Mystic Dan, Kentucky Derby champion, comes in for second. Catching Freedom the 3 for the bronze medal over Tuscan Gold over Just Steel. 6-5, 3-8-7. Well done. If you had that price up on top, that was a monster performance there. Coach D. Wayne Lucas getting back.
I'll tell you what, I'm very excited to hopefully interact with a bunch of these My Racehorse owners and get some good content of them because they're going to be so fired up. 9-1. What's up with My Racehorse winning all these big races? This is wild.
And it was the second biggest price on the board, aside from got to at 16-1, a 9-1 winner. I mean, absolutely. This is what's so fun about it, though. We talk about this. We said this with the Derby. You get a 9-1 winner in an 8-horse field. It was really, they seized the day. We should say.
Seize the day. Seize the Grey. Seize the day.
Seize the Grey of Overcast. Maybe that was the little juju they needed.
I think I called it wrong. I think I called 6 over the 3 over the 5 in the end, but it's okay. It was a really tight photo.
It was a photo. Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah,
we'll excuse that. We'll excuse that performance. Great call.
Wow,
Kyle. We appreciate you getting us up to speed. That was. I'm
just glad that the phone survived the drop. That was it's funny in the beginning. It's all muddy right now.
Shout out to one of our own social media producers who has a bit of stake.
Yeah, part of the My Racehorse ownership. Well done. Apparently there's some happy tears, some different tears in the mix there. So that's what an amazing feeling that will be. And that's what we said before going to the game. Like, there's 8 horses. The weather throws
everything
a couple of things out the window, and there we are with a monster price.
The name makes sense. I can't get over that. Seize the Grey. I feel like it's perfectly fitting.
Bet the Grey on a rainy day.
That's what I mean. There you go.
Yeah, I've heard that. we lost Kyle. Kyle's hopefully he can come back. We'll have some My Racehorse people before we get out of here. That was, I mean, hats off to the jockey Jamie Torres too, because he's Dwayne Lucas has proven historically that he'll take a shot on a bug jockey that he thinks has got a lot of talent, and Torres is one of those jockeys. This is just last fall even was riding this horse with the wheel on. So he saw what was happening with the pace and he went right for it. And when the veteran Frankie Dettori, all-world Hall of Famer Frankie Dettori, didn't go by, Torres was like, okay, I got this, and off he went. And I mean, he never looked back, and he got breathers. He gave the horse breathers when he needed to. I mean, we praised Brian Hernandez for that ride on Mystic Dan. Torres deserves some praise for this because he did what 7 other jockeys refused to do, which was go to the front and get settled, and that's what's been winning all day at Pimlico.
Absolutely.
What a performance. That's going to be the 7th win in the Preakness for Dwayne Lucas, the coach
So
behind
awesome.
the six there, sees the grey. I'm still waiting for prices to come across on this side, but again,
I
top
see.
four-
I see the win payouts. I don't see the exactas or anything.
I can,
yet.
yeah, I was gonna say I can tell you the other stuff, but
653. What's
Gentlemen, I'm gonna go real quick because I'm gonna try to see if I can get some cool stuff with these winner circle people.
all right? You get after it, Kyle. We appreciate you, my
Thank you,
guy.
Kyle. Awesome
Hopefully,
call.
some people were able to cash some money. I love all of you guys. I'm sorry that I gave you a loser. Mystic Dan will be back though.
Do you still have Magic? Do you still have Curtis? I feel like you got a little.
We got some beef. We got some beef, but that's all right. I'll give him this one.
Wager.
It's good for the sport, mate. It's good
Thank
for
you,
the sport.
Kyle.
All right. Good luck, guys. We'll see you.
See you, brother. Curtis, what's going to be the biggest storyline or takeaway from Preakness 149? The Kentucky Derby champion comes in with a very game second place finish there. Dwayne Lucas gets back into the winner's circle. Bob Baffert doesn't fire there with imagination. A bit of a failed attempt, really, from Frankie Dettori in the mount. What's your big takeaway?
Mystic Dan backed up his Kentucky Derby effort. He lost, but he backed up that Kentucky Derby effort. So that's, he lost, but the pace was up against him, right? I said it when before him, we were talking about the pace. I thought it would be the 9 and possibly 6 to go, and that is who ran 1-2 early. But the 9 never put pressure on the 6, and the way the track's been playing, it just was setting up against Mystic Dan. But he didn't fade off like we saw happen with some of the other horses that were close early. Catching Freedom did what he did in the Derby, which was follow Mystic Dan until, it was too late for him to get by. But they both backed up their form. That's a good thing. It is great for my racehorse, or for the sport, I should say, when my racehorse has winners like this, because it's a bunch of new people to the sport, allowed me to introduce into horse ownership. And with the way the sport's trending, we need as many new owners as possible. So when they can have success like this, or with Authentic in the Kentucky Derby and the Breeders' Cup Classic that year, it's a good thing for it. Story-wise, also Baffert not firing, but also the best Baffert scratched because he got sick. I don't know. There's a few different things. To me, the biggest takeaway positive-wise is that Mystic Dan, whose Derby I thought maybe was a little not questionable, but I wasn't super over the moon about it. He really backed up his form here today, guys.
And it unfortunately wasn't enough, though, for Mystic Dan. So we will not see a Triple Crown winner for 2024. But I think the most impressive thing is just how it really is anyone's race. And you highlighted that when I was trying to get you guys to toss out some horses. I'm sure this would have been one that might have been next up to toss. And that just goes to show you that really anyone can win this.
Yeah. And what other sport can you get 2 minutes of fast pace, action, intensity like that with 8 competitors going at those speeds and those kind of prices there? 9-1 plus 900 in terms of equivalent there to the sport book odds. So well done if you had it. Well done if you jumped in to play along. It's been a fantastic afternoon, and the day is not done yet, but certainly sees the grey with a monster performance. And for Mystic Dan, I don't think hurt the chances of still being the top 3-year-old of the class right now.
Well, we appreciate everyone joining us here. Kyle Levy with the announcing yet again. Curtis, it was great to get all of your insight. And, hopefully we'll get to be back here. Maybe Belmont, they'll have us on for a little social media live stream. But this was fun. We're going to do this again.
A lot of fun. Appreciate you guys coming along for the ride. Magic, Meghan, Dubs. We'll see you guys on FanDuel TV as we move through a new week of wagering. And we break it all down from the big takeaways. The second jewel of the Triple Crown goes towards the 6, sees the grey. Best of luck with the rest of your wagers on a Saturday.